I'm going to show you how to make a prime rib. So first you're going to need Worcestershire sauce, Montreal steak seasoning, garlic salt, peppercorn, and rosemary. So you're going to start out with the Worcestershire sauce and just going to get it everywhere. You also want to make sure you get both sides and rub it in. Okay, so now you're going to get the Montreal steak seasoning. And again, make sure you get all the sides. You want to cover the whole thing like I said before because that brings out a lot of flavor. And again, make sure you get every spot that you can reach. Okay, now let's move on to the garlic salt. And this you do not need that much garlic salt. You just want to spread it out evenly throughout the whole steak or prime rib. And remember to get the sides. Now, after you do that, you move on to the peppercorn. This you do not need that much. I happen to really like certain things on my prime ribs, so if you like a lot of peppercorn, go ahead and feel free to add more. Now you don't need a lot of this because you use the Montreal steak seasoning, which is also a lot like the peppercorn. So, now, I really like rosemary, so I add a lot. So if you do not like rosemary as much as I do, you don't have to add that much. But you do want to make sure you spread it evenly around the whole steak or prime rib. And also you make sure you get the sides and all around it. The rosemary is another one of the seasonings that brings out a lot of flavor. So with all these seasonings, you will have varieties of different flavors, but if you spread it out evenly, there will be a whole bunch of different flavors combined in. So once you have it evenly spread it out all amongst the steak, you flip it over and do the exact same thing to the other side. Alright, so I just flipped the roast. So now you're going to do, like I said before, the same exact thing on this side that you did on the other side. So we are going to start with the Worcestershire sauce. And if you remember what I said at the beginning, everything needs to be spread out evenly and around the whole entire prime rib. And this you're going to need quite a bit of. If you remember from what we did on the other side. And even though you did get the sides from when you were doing the other side, you still want to go over the sides again and make sure you didn't miss any spots. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the Montreal steak seasoning. You spread it out evenly throughout the whole prime rib. And what I do is I scrape from the sides and just put it on the top, because you're probably going to have a lot that usually falls off. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more. I like a lot of flavor in my steaks. Okay, so if you remember what's next, we are going to use garlic salt next. And this we do not need a lot of. And spread it evenly throughout the whole thing. Again, do not need very much. You do not need very much on the peppercorn either, which we are moving on to. This, just remember to spread it out evenly, and we do not need much because of the Montreal steak seasoning. Also has the same flavor, but this has a little bit more flavor to add to the steak. Now we're going to move on to the rosemary, my favorite part, so I add a lot. You do not have to if you're not a big fan of rosemary, which I doubt it. So again, you just spread it out evenly around the whole prime rib. Make sure you push it down in there a little, because if you don't, it will fall off when you cook it. And what I like to do is double check all the sides to make sure you got everything, and it looks pretty good. So this is all you do for the seasoning. I let my prime ribs sit overnight and let the seasonings slowly add flavor to the prime rib, and then in the morning I'll show you how to smoke them. Alright, good morning. And so I just took the prime rib out of the refrigerator and let it sit for at least 2 hours so all the flavors can soak in. So this is after I took it out of the refrigerator. It should be very flavorful now that all of it had time to sit. Alright, so I have actually baked a prime rib, I have rotisserie a prime rib, and now today I'm going to show you how to smoke a prime rib. And they all actually use the same exact seasonings and all have a very good flavor. So if you want to bake a prime rib, you just use the same exact seasonings as I showed you yesterday. But no matter what, if you bake, smoke, or rotisserie your prime rib, all three need a really good thermometer. This one is mine. And you want to make sure, no matter if you smoke or whatever, it needs to be at room temperature. Okay, today I'm going to use the Bradley Digital Smoker. Now, what I did was filled this up with water, a little bowl, and I haven't got the prime rib in there yet because I'm letting it preheat. And I use these chips, which add a lot more flavor, and they just fall right in there and add a apple-like flavor to it. Okay, so to begin, we are going to press on smoker, on oven, It's at temp oven. And we're going to heat it up to 320 degrees Fahrenheit. And we are going to cook it for 1 hour in that temperature. Now that the prime rib has reached room temperature, we are going to transfer the prime rib into the Bradley smoker using this rack that actually came with the Bradley smoker. So just remove that. So now we are going to transfer it into the smoker. Alright, so now that I've brought the meat outside, we are going to put it in the smoker. And just a clarification here, this, when you open it, it will be really hot. So now it is done preheating and we are going to put it in. Okay, so you're just gonna put it on second to bottom. Slide it right in there. And now, step is I just take the thermometer and stick it right down this holes. Should be right here. And just pull it out. Stick it right in. Now, a penalty of death, you do not open this again until it reaches your desired temperature. Don't open this door until it reaches 130 degrees for medium rare and 135 for medium. And if you want well done, eat something else. Alright, it's been 1 hour and we are going to move our temperature down to 220. We are going to wait another 3 to 4 hours depending on the size of your roast. And you need to carefully watch your thermometer to make sure you do not pass your desired temperature. Alright, so our temperature has reached 135 degrees. So now, when you open it, there's going to be a lot of smoke. There's our prime rib. So we're going to take that out. And bon appetit. Thanks for watching.